Hi everyone, my name is Maria Johnson and I collect succulents last 9 years. I have a collection here in Michigan where I live and also in Serbia where I came from. I didn't make any videos last 2 months and some of you asked, did I give up on making videos? I think a lot of things happened in the last year and in the last few months, so I just wanted to give you an update on that. Last time when I made the video was in Serbia, when I gave you update on my collection there. Shortly after that, my mom's brother died. He was a really important person for me growing up, and I don't know if it's because of that funeral or because of the last year when I was struggling with some health issues. I just felt like I needed some change, and I made the tough decision to decrease my succulent collection. So my husband has this tendency to count my plants just to make me aware how much I actually have. And in January this year, when he counted, I had about 500 pots. Now I do have some propagations and some multiple pots of the same plant, but a majority of it, probably over 400, was all like different individual plants. And some of them are really large. If you have been watching my videos, you know that I have really big sticks on fire, really big jades, really big philodendron, and so on. Some big euphorbias. And I just kind of felt overwhelmed. And in April, I made a decision. I need to cut my collection in half. So I had to make that decision about some that I will not be collecting anymore. And in the last few months, I have been selling a lot, sold probably over 120 plants and some really big plants. My big jade that was over 4 feet tall, really wide, blooming, aged look. That's gone. My big philodendron, my string of pearls, my string of turtles, my big ficus, my variegated jade, they're all gone. Don't think I'm going to get rid of everything. I will always be a plant person. That gives me a lot of joy. I just came to a point that I had to assess whether it's taking a lot of my time, a lot of space, energy, and also whether I have conditions for some of the plants, because it can be frustrating not having right conditions for some plants. For example, these plants that I want to show you today that are on the deck are really plants that struggle here in Michigan. I think that they're not meant to grow here. They grow well in California or Arizona or some other places, but it's a challenge for echeverias and some of the grapto varieties. During the summertime, they are outside, but as you know, here in Michigan, we have 7 months below freezing temperatures, and we can have a high humidity during the rest of the year. We have a lot of days without sufficient sun for these plants. Even if you have a plant room, which we, by the way, built last fall, my husband and I, even if you have that, it can be a struggle for them. You could use light, but I think really for echeverias, they need their winter rest and they like cooler temperatures during the winter and early spring. So putting them under lights, which I have done, is not ideal. And I think it would be better if you have some kind of cooler window that's facing south and has a lot of sunlight. Anyway, so that's the update, what has been going on. I will try to continue to make videos. Today I'm showing you just part of my collection that's on the deck. There is part of my collection that's in the plant room. And the reason why we build a plant room is that there is a certain number of plants that I don't have to move in and out anymore. Today, I wanted to give you an update on the plants that are on the deck outside during the summertime. And those are echeverias and Graptosedums, Graptopetalums, and Graptoverias. I'm going to give you ID for each of the plants. I may share some tips as I go. So let's take a look. So I am starting here with a beautiful pinkish bluish color Echeveria, Dusty Rose. Mine currently has a lot of pups underneath. You can behead it if you want to let those pups grow bigger and then just propagate the the tops and, you know, trade with a friend or give a friend. So there's quite a lot of pups underneath. I don't want to propagate this one yet. I'm just really enjoying how pretty it is. It was actually much more pink before the rain that we had, and then I recently, because of the rain, had to move it away in a spot where it's going to be dry, so it was having a little bit less light. So I think that's why there is a little bit more blue color, but it can get more pink and purple. Next one is one of my absolute favorites, and that's Fred Ives. I love this Graptoveria so much. It is really taking a willpower to keep only one pot of this plant because I love to propagate it so much. I probably have now 4 plants with pretty big rosettes of this plant, and then I have a leftover stem that's growing little pups. It's just such a fast growing plant, changes colors during the different seasons, and it's just so beautiful. Mine actually had some pests here. As you can see, a little bit of deformation of the leaves, so I had to spray it. But just beautiful. So that's Graptoveria for the Ives. Next one that I'm showing you is the one that I have been enjoying a lot this year. It's the one that came from brink of death. It was completely overpowered by powdery mildew, like completely white. And I think I have some videos in the past about mold that was just going from plant to plant to plant, and it was really frustrating. Well, I ended up taking it to the botanical garden. I'm grateful for that advantage. Sometimes I take plants there for therapy, and it actually recovered. That was more than a year ago. It's been since just growing, blooming this year. It also had a crested form that it produced because I beheaded it, and then I separated crested part from the regular part. This is imported plant that I purchased from one of the sellers that gets them from outside of United States. It's a pinky trumpet. Look at these leaves, how unique they are. Kind of reminds me 2 elephants, mouth, well, nose, right? So it's so pretty, and this year has been blooming. I find this plant actually really aggressive grower. Gives a lot of pops when you behead it, and relatively fast. And it also has been really growing well under lights. So we have it at the conservatory under lights, and it grew really, really well. So here is the crested form. It was twice the size. I ended up separating half of it and trying to grow individual plants from it. And I will show you some that I have for sale, but I can't have enough of this plant. It's just so cool looking. So, Pinky Trumpet. Here is one of my also favorites, and I had for so many years big one. So actually the big plant I sold, and I propagated this from some of the cuttings and leaves, and it's been growing for quite a few months. So I'm starting this pot again. You know how it grows, starts to get that age look pretty fast. Ghost is such a beautiful plant, aggressive grower, purplish, greenish leaves, as you can see. And I find it easier to care for than echeverias. Then I have one of the rare ones here. I think this was at some point gift from my friend Amanda that volunteers with me at the conservatory. This is Echeveria laui. I have noticed that it's sensitive when it's really humid and wet out. They love dry weather. These echeverias love dry and warm weather. The one that I propagated in the past and sold, but then I lost my mother plant. It was just looking really bad after this winter. I think it got powdery mildew, and this was the survivor. This is Echeveria magnifica. Super light color of leaves, really unique looking. And this one is finally growing. It has some damages on the leaves. I think it's probably from all this humidity and rain. And yeah. And now I'm going to show you also through two of my Graptoverias. Graptoveria Darly Sunshine and Graptoveria Blue Pearl. They are kind of similar. I can't tell you how I differentiate them, but as soon as I see them, I know that they're different. I think that this one has a little bit more roundish leaves than this one. And it can get larger than the Darly Sunshine individually. So I propagated actually mine because it was getting just like a little gangly and big. And I took these two cuttings, rooted them before the summer started. And I think I have some pests here. You see some deformation on the leaves and stress. This one has been doing pretty good and tolerating the rain pretty well. I love the colors. Look at all that pinkish, orangish, bluish tones. So cool. Next one here is Echeveria raindrops. I have propagated so much of Echeveria raindrops and sold. And after 2-3 years, my mother plant lost the drops, and I think it got powdery mildew, and I had to cut it. So I do have leftover of that original plant, but I ended up buying a new one this year. So this is bought from Gas Farms. I'm pretty happy that this one has bumps. I did notice that the mother plant that I left outside to grow, that it's starting to get bumps. So I'll have to show that at some point. And here is my powder puff. I think that's a Pachyveria maybe powder puff. Really pretty, unique leaves, kind of blue with the pink. I don't like that it's getting so wide, and I do see that it's growing a lot of new rosettes. So maybe some of these, the wider branches like this one, will be cut, and then plant will be centered just to be aesthetically pleasing. And then I have Graptopetalum Murasaki. This one actually gets much deeper red than it is right now. I was really concerned with the amount of water it's getting, so it was in the shade where it was dry inside for a few days, so it lost some color. You can see blue on the leaves, but it's healthy and it's gonna go back outside. This one here, I can't remember what it is. I can't remember when I bought it. I don't know. But it's kind of curly. It's really beautiful, beautiful colors. And I actually have another big rosette like this for sale because I separated it from this same pot because it was just so big. But what's really strange here is I have a plant that's growing in there, and I don't know if this is the product of the same plant or there was a leaf that propagated itself. Here, I'm going to show you in a second. I think it's a leaf. So I had this imported plant, I think it's called Echeveria anacoisi or something like that, that's variegated like this. And I think the leaf ended up, and it was nicely protected here, and it propagated itself. How cool that is. So I'm going to have to separate this one, but not yet. I think that they're really happy with each other. They helped each other. I think these variegated plants can be so fussy. I have the mother plant that's so struggling. It's smaller than this leaf propagation. So I think I'm going to just leave it in there. Maybe it likes to have a little bit of cover from water, from sun. I'm not sure. Then, of course, I have moonstones. How fun these are. They're so cute. Chubby, 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 chubby. These don't like to be soaked all the time. I was really worried about this one. It still has some wetness. So I had to move it, and it's not getting full sun right now, so it has some blue. But they get really pink when they're dry, and when they like the weather. So there is one really wet leaf that just came off. That's what happens. You see these yellow, soft leaves when they have too much water, but I don't think they're rotting. It's been too much. And then this one here, it's a cute one. Actually, I have more than one plant here, so I could potentially separate it if I want to, but I think it looks nice. This is smaller pot, so it's not too bad. Here is my Echeveria prolifica that is prolific. Look at that. This one is really fun. I love how it chews the babies all over the place. I can totally easily root this one, and it's kind of hanging here, and the pot is going to still look cool. So maybe I'm going to do that. But it gets these pink tips when it's stressed. So cool. It does shed a lot. So these little leaves will then produce a little, rosettes. Then I have here imbricata that's blooming and has a ton of babies underneath. Look at those. Look at that. It's like it's asking me, please behead me so that we can all grow. So maybe I will do that. I don't know. Next one here is my Graptoveria opalina. Plumpy leaves, pinkish bluish color. And then I have a Graptoveria Debbie that I lost. I think it had pests and powdery mildew and different issues, so I ended up beheading it. And to make it look cute, because it's just a little leftover branch with pups growing, I put it in a smallest terracotta pot. And these two rosettes that are growing in the soil, they actually were here on top, and I accidentally bumped them and they fell off. So I rooted them. I hope this one will grow bigger. It's been pretty slow, but these Grapto varieties during the summer do slow down. So it doesn't have a super pink color either right now. Maybe because of all the rain. Then there is Echeveria Lola. I have a few more for sale. They were super duper pink underlights. These look really nice underlights. And as soon as I got them outside, they kind of got more pale green color. And what else I have here? This one is some kind of Graptopetalum. I forgot exactly which one. But it gets also very nice colors, kind of like Fred Ives. It will have like a little bit of a yellowish, orangish, green, purple, blue, a lot of different tones, and propagates really well. This here is actually that, I forgot what, it's that plant that's kind of like a sedum. I think it actually can survive outside during the winter. I have to find the ID for this one. But look how cute it is. These light purple rosettes. So I'm going to show you another one that's my favorite, and that's very easy Graptopetalum Ghosty. I have produced so many pots of this plant, and it's aggressive grower, looks really cute, gets that aged look really fast. And I have to trim it every year. I trimmed so many branches here, you can see, and the new rosettes will pop up. I do love this pot, but I also can't keep too many pots of the same plant. And since I started propagation with the cuttings of the same plant, I most likely will keep this one and sell the other one, even though this one now looks probably the prettiest. So these are the same plants. Then I have, of course, Echeveria Pearl von Nuremberg. I mean, this was one of the first Echeverias I got together with Echeveria gavoides. They're so much fun. They're just so beautiful. Light purple and deeper pink toward the middle. Look at how beautiful that is. It was also attacked by pests. You can see some deformation, and I sprayed it. I'm hoping I don't have to spray it again. Graptopetalum Graptopetalum, superbum petundrum. Look at how it has that flat look, like something pressed on top of it. And it's pretty even, light purple pink color all through. I have some propagation from leaves. I actually grew these from leaves, and I hope they grow. I have a beautiful photos in the past of one of the mature plants. When they bloom, they look amazing, like a wedding decoration. I'll try to find a photo and maybe share it with you. Then I also have here Graptoveria pink, Graptosedum pink granite. This plant doesn't do very well for me inside in the winter time, loses the pink color because it likes cooler temperatures. I typically buy this plant every year and start all over. It's not that expensive. Gas Farm always has it, and it's very prolific grower, so yeah. And then, of course, I forgot about these. I have blue moonstones. So I showed you pink ones, but these are blue. Here is my 2 pots of Madiba Echeveria. It's a little bit more rare, and a spider. Look at those legs. Oh my goodness. I'm going to take him outside just to quickly show you. So this is actually the mother plant that I beheaded, and it grew 2 rosettes, and this is the head that I rooted last year. So really cool looking Echeveria. I will have to get rid of one of these pots. The question is, do I keep this one or this one? Not sure yet. This one here, is it called Pachyphytum compactum? Something like that. I had this one for a very long time. It was under lights for quite a while, and now I just keep it outside. Here's my little blue turtle. Has that aged look, but does have some new growth popping up, so looking cute. Here is one of the rare ones, and that is Graptopetalum. Oh no, this is Graptosedum titubans, variegated one. I actually cut off the tops because I think this winter it got a little bit of powdery mildew. And then after that, when I took it outside, it was attacked by birds. Birds have been eating my succulents. I caught them in action when they were doing that. So here is another leaf. So I had to remove some leaves. Look at that. And yeah, but they grew some rosettes on top. So I still like how this looks. It's so pretty. Then another beautiful variegated plant is Echeveria decora that I had so much of in the past, and then I lost them this winter. So I had to buy some new ones. I just got these from a seller on Succulent Marketplace. And then in the same time, I got this ginormous one from Guest Farms in Eau Claire. Look how pretty it is. And huge, ginormous, ginormous, ginormous. I wonder if you behead it. It's so heavy too. I don't know, it's like it needs to be beheaded. And then I have Purple Delight here. It's a Graptopetalum. It's not very purple at the moment. Like I said, it was first soaked with rain, and then I moved it away from rain so it didn't have a lot of light. And it is a little bit paler color at the moment, but a really fun plant that grows pretty aggressively, propagates well from leaves. And then I forgot ID of this one. But look, oh, I think it's called Baby's Fingers. Baby's Fingers, yeah. And it's so full. Pinkish, bluish color, like a little jelly beans. And let's see what else is left outside. And here's my Echeveria chroma that can get beautiful variegation. This is my Echeveria chroma. I don't even know which number, 6, 7. I have killed so many of these. I feel like I always have to buy one every year. They're beautiful, but I somehow always kill them. I don't know if they're more prone to mites or overwatering. I don't know, but they just all of a sudden drop leaves. My Echeveria purpurorum that I cut, and these are all the pups that grew on a stem, and I ended up beheading them and rooting them this early summer. So they have like a little roots right now. I don't know if I'm going to keep all of them. Maybe I don't need that many. Here is the most favorite plant of house red finch. That's a bird, by the way, that sings beautifully. I feed birds here, and I didn't know that they eat succulents. And I caught him in action with his wife eating my Vera Higgins. They ate so much of this plant, I had to chop off the branches because they were massacred. So it doesn't look as pretty as it did beginning of the season. But yes, this was a favorite of the birds. And how am I keeping this one safe? I actually had to take cacti from my plant room and place them next to this plant. I surrounded this plant with 2 cactuses, and the massacre finally stopped. They stopped coming to eat. They would just like sit next to the pot and or here on top of the pot, and because they could stab, because the cactuses are around, they stopped. So annoying. Here is my California sunset. Really beautiful colors. This is propagation, the cuttings that I took in spring from my mother plant that was getting really, really big. So I divided it, took some cuttings, and started a new pot. Then here is my Echeveria rainbow. It doesn't look that good. This is actually a cutting from a mother plant, and it had some pests. I was recently spraying it. I forgot the name of this one. I think it's so pretty. It gets a little bit of like orangish red on the edges. Really cute one. And then I also forgot the name of this one. I remember that where I ordered it when I got it. It was from a seller here in Michigan. And it has like a little variegation on the leaves. Pretty unique look. This one was pretty miserable looking end of winter because it got the white mold. But it outgrew all the leaves and recovered. And then I have this here. I think it's called Ganso something. I have to find the ID. It's such cool color, like really, really deep pink when it's stressed, and has unusual shape. It had some deformed leaves on top of this one, so I'm thinking to maybe, I've been spraying it, so I think it's under control. But yeah, it has a little bit of deformity because I didn't notice that it was attacked by pests. Here's my Echeveria Goides lipstick with a lot of little pups trying to grow. Really distinctive red tips. I love Agavoides varieties. They're so easy. There is more that I have, I think, that are inside or different parts of the house. These are very easy Echeverias. They're not as demanding as those other colorful ones. They tend to stay compact. So if you're living in a cold state like I do, these are good Echeverias to have. I forgot the name of this one. Maybe Olivia. This is propagations from my original mother plant. These are propagations as well. They really didn't look good end of winter. They had white mold, so I took cuttings, and these are now rooted, look good. A curly blue Echeveria. These are small cuttings. I had a really large one last year that I propagated. Then, I don't know, this one is kind of common one. I don't know if I'm going to keep this one or not. I'm considering not keeping it in my collection. And then I have this very interesting mahogany red Echeveria. Beautiful. These are actually two aged branches. I'm going to probably separate and just keep one and sell the other. And then I have a little monkey tail cactus here, a cutting that's rooted. And this is just echeverias and grapto varieties that are on the deck. There is some crassulas and euphorbias that are on the deck that I'm going to probably show you next time. So yeah, so it's a lot, guys. That's why I decided I have to decrease. This is not all that I had. I had way more echeverias. I got rid of quite a lot of them. So I hope you enjoyed seeing my echeverias and grapto varieties. If you have any questions, let me know. And I'll see you soon in the next video.